Morning, this is Kevin from Orlando Yard Service. I'm just going to do a 3-month review on my Tundra. Very happy with it. There's only one little problem that I don't like, but I can't do anything about that. Gas mileage about 14.5, but I have the smaller V8, not the biggest V8. I'm not going to tow a trailer anymore. I don't have a boat, never wanted a boat, and I don't notice any difference as far as power, so I went with the smaller V8. The only thing I probably splurged on with my Tundra is these rims right here. I just like the look of them rather than the steel wheels. The cab is really nice and comfortable for me. I test drove all the trucks on the market except for Honda and Nissan. Dodge and GMC cab just seemed a little bit bigger to me, but for me, I'm only 5'7", this was more than adequate. Plenty of storage, plenty of cup holders. I didn't get the GPS because I had to upgrade to another package and I didn't really care to do that. This has a backup camera, so that is a nice feature. I kind of poo-pooed it in the past, but it is a nice feature. I like the knobs, extremely big. The AC system is phenomenally good here in Orlando. As far as the driver comfort, great. The seat's extremely comfortable. I'm just looking for some seat covers now. I have a small lawn care business and I've downsized that too, so I'm still doing it, but it's not as hectic as it was before. Plus I do some other things too, handyman work and window cleaning, and I do restoration on furniture. I really like mid-century furniture, so I couldn't go with the bigger, or the crew cab you can get is it is nice if you have family. I really like the crew cab, but the access cab is pretty good too. This will flip up and then you have storage under there. You can flip this one up too, and you got a big storage cubby here, which works out really well. This is lockable, so I really like it. This is a nice feature. I think all the trucks now come with it. For your kids or whoever's in the back, you only have 2 cup holders and 1 charging station, which I really kind of wish they'd have put another charging station and then put cup holders in the doors. But I had 3 kids back here for like 8 hours one day driving around Orlando going different places. They didn't complain. They didn't complain about the AC. The charging station they kind of quibble over, but they'll get used to it. And that sounds trivial, but if you go on a long trip, these kids, they want to stay connected. They want they want to use their electronics, so that's something you have to worry about. I can charge up there, no problem. So just a little extra, I don't know, irritant I wish they would have thought about. Quality of the seats in the back are very nice, very comfortable. The only thing that really kind of concerns me about Toyota, I remember years ago with Ford F-150s, water pools down there. So after I wash my truck or after a heavy rain when we get a lot of water, I have to push all the water out because I just don't want to worry about rust problems, which I think eventually that will happen because Ford went through that. But other than that, for a 6-foot bed, I can fit most of my equipment in here for my lawn care, or when I'm doing handyman work like drywall or carrying lumber, stuff like that. I've kind of downsized that business too. I don't do a lot of big stuff as far as handyman. I really just like doing painting jobs because those are quick and easy. The customers don't get too picky, especially a fence. That's a pretty easy job for me to do. Tailgate seems pretty strong, pretty hefty. I do wish that Toyota came out with like a step right here on the bumper. I think Ford or Chevy, one of those guys had that, and that would be a nice feature. Plus, if they would make the tailgate, if they would add like a lockable cubby here, if they could. I've never taken this off, but maybe if they could make a lockable cubby, so if you just open it up and pull out your gloves and your safety glasses and maybe a small toolkit, that would be a nice feature. You get these cargo tie downs, they come with it, and I added my Davis clamps. I saw these on Tundra Solutions. Those are pretty cool. You find them on Amazon for like 28 bucks for 4, but with the Tundra you need this special nut here that you have to find. It's on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it, but they're not too expensive. I think I got 5 of them for maybe $15. They're pretty nice. Other than that, I fit everything in here. I do a 30-inch mower now with my 21-inch Honda. Plus I carry 3 trimmers, 1, 2, and I put a trimmer here, and then my blower and my edge trimmer, or excuse me, yeah, my edge trimmer, and then my ramps, plus 2 cans of gas, 1 on either corner. I don't carry huge gas cans, just a gallon gas can. I really try to watch it with gasoline because it's so flammable. And then my aluminum racks, when I'm all done, I just push them in here. So I'm pretty much, I still have some room left over, but it is a little tighter compared to having a trailer, which I think trailers are great. These are Rackham racks here. I got these for $300. That was the only company I found that had this for, you know, people that are using pickup trucks. There's a company in Michigan that has something like this, but they never answered their phone. I had a couple questions. They never answered emails, so I went with Rackham racks. I kind of modified it a little bit. This actually is supposed to be mounted on the outside, but I don't use it as a water cooler. I actually put my small hedge trimmer here, and I didn't drill holes here. It just sits here, and it's bolted into my cargo thing. I have a bolt coming out to hold it in place, which works pretty well. I would say the quality on Rackham racks is really good. $309 maybe. The only thing bad about Rackham racks is the instructions that you get with it are worthless. As far as visibility, blind spots, of course you have a blind spot when you're looking back. The backup camera helps when you're going reverse, but you do have to watch it. It is a big truck. I mean, I have an oversized garage, and I have to go all the way over to the right-hand side so my wife doesn't skin my truck. But it is a big truck, so you do have to be a little careful. I would highly recommend it to anybody. I did test drive all the trucks. I kind of was stuck with Toyota because the dealer was willing to deal. The Ford guy was, you know, he just wasn't going to do anything. Chevy, GMC, they're kind of like, they'll deal a little bit, but you know, they're selling so many trucks right now that, you know, they don't have to deal, they don't care. I think Toyota, I went to AutoNation Toyota, who finally ended up getting the deal. I think their philosophy is, hey, look, we're going to get you on the service, and they make a lot of money in the service department. And maybe that's a better way to go. I went to 3 other Toyota dealers in Orlando area, and totally worthless, really rude. It has a nice bright red color, which I did purposely, even though I have a red house. I'm going to paint that this year. But kind of like, because I'm not going to put a wrap on this, I'm just going to use this like eye candy advertising. And it works pretty well so far. I picked up 2 customers that saw my truck parked down the street. I use magnetic signs, and they walked down and, hey, saw your truck, can you give me a quote? So as far as going to a wrap, I'm not going to do that. Not that wraps are bad, I just don't want one. Boy, it's sunny today. So other than that, I would recommend it, but also I would recommend go through and test drive each truck and maybe use Cars Direct as your baseline price, and then go back to the dealer and try to beat them up. You know, timing is a big thing when you're buying any sort of vehicle. Going towards a new model year, you have a little bit of pricing power, but not a lot. If the market is good for a certain type of vehicle, right now trucks are selling so well that, you know, you don't get a lot of wiggle room. This was $1,800 less than their best price in about 2 weeks of haggling. I looked at a lot of used Toyotas, but Toyotas are not without their faults. They had problems with frames rusting. In fact, when I was at the dealership, there was a whole big semi-truckload of frames coming in. Same with Tacomas. Plus the 07 through 2011 Tundras had a problem with a pollution control device, and it just goes out, and the price is about $1,000 to $2,000 to get that thing fixed. And it has something to do with pollution control. I forget exactly what it is, but I stumbled upon it when I was looking at used Toyotas, and I saw that, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I did find one truck I liked out of Tampa. The guy was pretty amenable, but it had almost 100,000 miles, which is not a lot for a Tundra, but no maintenance records, and he didn't get the big maintenance done. You don't have to change a timing change on these, but there's like a $1,500 to $2,000 maintenance you got to do, the water pump, plus a couple other things. And it's good to do, especially in Florida, but he didn't do it. And he had a couple, you know, I took it to this, you know, Jiffy Lube to get the oil changed. And anymore now, I think a lot of people, they just don't maintain vehicles very well. Just drive them. You know, the idea is a Toyota, I'll change the oil and that's it. And I always change it, even though I use synthetic oil in all my vehicles, I still change that between about 3,000 to 5,000 miles, because Florida is just brutally hot and puts a lot of wear and tear on a vehicle. I admit that vehicles are made better now, but still, you should change that oil. Oil changes doing yourself is not that bad. Also, the oil change on this, they're using that new synthetic, I think it's 0W20 synthetic oil, and I'll just stick with that for the dealer. It's kind of simpler to change it at the dealer now. My Camry, I still do that myself, but this one, I'll just stay with the dealer. I'm not sure if I'm just going to start doing my own oil changes. But that's it. If you had any questions about it, I would recommend it. At least test drive it. The Silhouette to me seems a little bit narrower than the other trucks, but I found all the trucks really have a lot of positives. I'm really kind of impressed with the quality of GMC, Chevy. Ford, because the guy was so rude, I'm just not going to recommend that. But I mean, it had a nice ride and they're nicely equipped. But I ended up with the Toyota. Really, past experience with Toyota vehicles has been pretty good. The dealer was very nice, very amenable, AutoNation, and the price. You know, I saved what, $1,800 off from where we started. Plus, the GMC and Chevy were about $2,000 more. The Ford was about $2,000 more. Dodge, I bet you the Dodge guy probably would have come down because Dodge likes to sell vehicles, but Dodge is going through another recall. So I just kind of, you know, walked away from that. But that's it. Excuse me. And have a good day from Orlando.